Okay, so today I'm showing y'all how to do a 10-minute taper. You start off with the number 2 guard, lever open, and you go all the way up to the parietal ridge. And no, there's no secret sauce, no secret recipe. It's just strictly a process that you repeat over and over and over again. There's these things called guidelines that you have to memorize in your head. You could find images on Google search showing where these guidelines should be. Depending on which haircut you're doing, guidelines vary, which means every taper and every fade have different sets of guidelines that you have to memorize. Some are high fades, mid fades, or low fades, low tapers, mid tapers, or high tapers. Anyways, I'm going with the lever open with the number 3 guard to fade in that guideline that I set with the number 2 guard open. There's plenty of ways you could fade a taper. You could fade going up, starting at the bald line, or you could fade going down, blending everything in as you go. I am now going to go in with the 1.5 guard, lever open, all the way up to the lowest point of the guideline that was previously set with the number 2 guard. And this is me fading down on my haircut, but I will switch it up in just a second. The main lever place for when you're fading, it should be closed, open, and halfway. Anything in between, you can find the sweet spot and get these lines out. If you haven't noticed by now, this is a raw, uncut version of the haircut. I am not editing this video for anything, just to show you guys the raw, uncut version of how I get my tapers looking clean. Now I'm going to be fading up. With the trimmers, I go about 1 inch high. For most tapers, I line them up with the bottom of the ear, or in other words, the bottom of the earlobe. As you can see, I'm cleaning off the hair a lot, and that's because I personally like to keep a clean canvas at all times. Brushing off the hair keeps that hair from messing with your fade and thinking there's a line when there's really not. And at the end of the day, who really wants a hairy neck while getting a haircut? I know I don't. To get good at cutting hair, it'll take you a little while, so don't get discouraged if on the first, second, third, or even 10th try it don't come out looking clean. Don't compare yourself to Instagram pictures or videos, because those most likely are edited, enhanced, or just is a barber that's been cutting for 10 years plus. There are also some very talented barbers out there that get good fast. Can't count them out either. Now I'm gonna go in with the shaver and make sure everything's clean on the bottom of the neck. And while I do that, make sure to subscribe for more content. Anyways, back to the cut. I'm using a Babyliss Pro double shaver. It's one of the best ones on the market. I've had it for years. It keeps everything nice, clean, it's powerful. Sometimes I'll go double checking just to make sure everything is nice and tidy. I'm going to speed up the video just for the sake of getting to the next part. Again, I'm triple checking. The next step is going to be lever open, no guard, going about 1 inch higher than the guideline set before. I'm going in with that lever open, making sure I don't miss any hairs. The next step is going to be shutting that lever about halfway, going a tad bit under the guideline, and cleaning up all those hairs that faded. There's that lever closed halfway. Now it's going to lighten up a lot of that hair so we can fade it down. Again, this is raw, uncut footage, so if you see me knock down the tripod, it's okay. And I don't know if you can see, but I close the lever right here and I start aiming for that bottom line to get taken out. As you can see, I'm playing with the lever a lot, going open, close, just to play around with the levels and making sure everything's faded the way I know how to fade. Sooner or later, you will figure out exactly what I'm talking about. My process is open, halfway, then closed, and then I play around a little bit, making sure everything is getting taken out. And I go back to halfway right there, and then I open it back up. Set up a new guideline, almost halfway, go a little bit lower, almost closed, all the way closed. See, I jump around a lot, making sure everything is to my liking. The next step is going to be a half guard open lever about 1/2 inch higher than that last guideline. Sometimes I don't see that line real defined, so I go about halfway closed to make sure I see the guideline. At this point, I'm working in sections, so I'm going to close my lever and take out that line that was set by the guideline before. I will eventually move on and do the same steps on the left side of the head. It's always about lever play and playing around with what you already know and where those guidelines were set. This is not a beginning barber video. This is a video for barbers that have been cutting for a while and kind of know what I'm talking about. All I'm trying to stress is that there's a process that you follow to get faster cuts. Again, for the sake of getting to the next step, I'm going to speed up this process. As you can see, that line is basically all faded out. Lever play, detailing, cross-checking is all I'm doing at this point. Again, I stress memorizing guidelines because I go back with the lever open, I go back with the half guards. I almost even go back to the trimmer at times just to get that last line out and make sure everything is faded nice. At this point, I go in with the one guard closed and then just try to fade that last guideline out. Because remember, I used a 1.5 guard clip to set up a guideline right where I'm hitting right there prior to all these steps before. At this point, I put in a lot of work into detailing the haircut, and then I will line it up on the sides and around the ears. I know I promised a raw, uncut version of my haircut, but I want a little more structure to my videos, so I'm going to cut just for the sake of the video being a little better. Hopefully you guys gain something from this. Now, if you're new to the channel and you live in the Corona, Norco, Riverside area, I cut hair at the Lab Barbershop. Subscribe and you may get a chance to win free haircuts. I will post more. Thank you, like, share, subscribe, comment. I appreciate you guys watching my first video.